Wayne Thiebaud is an American artist from Arizona. He started his career as a graphic designer and cartoonist and then started to draw more objects that you would see in everyday life. He painted a lot of pastries, such as cakes, and making them appear real by putting thick paint on his canvases with a paint knife, where it almost looks just like the frosting or icing. Another thing you'll notice is that he shows different sides of his art or of the object to make it appear 3D. The shading and shadows that he uses also helps the object appear real, like we can just pick it up. For our project, we are looking at Wayne Thiebaud's lollipop drawing. For mine, I use colored pencils to mix it, but we're going to create depth by using shading and shadow. Your paper wants to be sideways or in landscape style. We're going to start with the lollipops themselves. It's up to you what you're going to use to make the circle. The bottom of a cup works really well. I also have this mason jar in the lid. So I'm going to use this thing that's in the lid. That way you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Towards the top of our paper, we're going to have the lollipops first. Then we're going to draw the foam thing that the sticks stick into, and then the sticks themselves. So it's messy. If I have a lollipop here, maybe I have one here and here. Now these are close to us, so we see the whole thing. If we have some lollipops slightly behind these ones, like back here, if I want this behind these first ones, I'm not going to see that whole lollipop. Just like if my hand, how it's on top of this, because it's in front of it, we don't see that whole circle. So I'm putting this down. I start to trace it, but once I hit my lollipops, I'm done. Sorry, they must see a dog or someone outside. And then don't forget the bottom as well. If that's too confusing, you can lightly trace the whole circle, and then I just erase this part. Oh, silly dogs. Close the door, maybe. There we go. All right, I have 5 lollipops. You can put more if you like. Just nice big circles for it. Then, for the foam that it sits in at the bottom, we're going to have a line. Ooh, that horizontal line is more of a diagonal line. Your horizontal line. And then, like a big frowny face, just like Wayne Thiebaud's. So it looks like the sun's setting, or a slice of watermelon. For your sticks, you can use something straight, or you can just freehand it. If I have a stick here, I'm not going to see that part of the foam thing, so I have to erase it. Smiley face to connect it, because that's where it's getting stuck in. And that way it looks 3D. My next one. Smiley face to connect. It's like they're on display. Erase that little line. If you don't have a good eraser, we can always just draw over it. So skinny number 11 and then a smiley face on the bottom. Now this display is sitting on a table, but we don't put our table way at the bottom. We're going to scooch it up a little bit to give it more depth. So make a line, jump over it, make a line. Your lollipop designs are 100% up to you. So maybe my first one kind of looks like a pinwheel. You design these however you want. Maybe you put a smiley face on one. Maybe this one has a spiral. Maybe this one back here has different flavors, like layers of flavor. But I have to be careful since it's behind these other ones, you're not going to see the whole design. Maybe this one has polka dots. And then what do you want for this one? Maybe another spiral. So these ones are similar. Or I'm going to do zigzag lines. You choose what you want yours to look like. Does not have to be just like mine. Now we started to make our picture look 3D by having the curved lines at the bottom to show the sticks aren't flat. But now we can make it look even more 3D by adding color. So first, I'm going to show you how we're going to color the sticks with your regular pencil to create a shadow. Then I'm going to color my lollipops. You'll color yours. Mine will probably be sped up a little bit. But I want you to add a little bit of a shadow right under where the lollipop is and kind of on the sides of the stick. So all around the outline of that rectangular kind of shape. Then use your finger and smear it. If the smear goes outside of the stick, you can just erase. So I press with my pencil under my lollipop, along the side, a little bit at the bottom, and then back up. And then I smear it. If it's too gray, you can also take your eraser and just put a line right down the middle. Once you finish, I want you to start coloring your lollipops however you want. And then I'll show you how we're going to make those appear even more real too. Now that I have everything colored in, you can color your foam piece if you'd like. That's completely up to you. We want to make things look a little more 3D. So what you can do is get a black colored pencil or crayon, and we're going to add some shadows, or you can just use a normal pencil like I am. And to show that this lollipop is behind the other ones, I'm going to add a light shadow, not pressing super hard, but showing the shadow of this pink spiral lollipop, that it's on top of that one behind it. If you want, you can try to smear it with your finger like we did. It probably won't work as well if you're using crayons or colored pencils. I just add some shading. And I tried to press a little bit harder with my colored pencils in the area. Maybe a little shading around the edge of the lollipops as well. So that kind of makes it look like these two are in front of that one by adding that. Let's do it to any other lollipops that you have behind. Just adding that shadow, adding the shading. Blending with your finger if you like. And then on the table, we want to show shading. So right now it looks like my light's kind of coming straight on. It could be at any angle as well. But we would see a shadow from the sticks and we would see a shadow on the table itself. So to show the shading for the sticks, you can use your pencil. And actually, if my light is hitting it directly on, these two will probably go more at an angle this way for the shadow. If you think of it like a clock handle, this one's probably right behind because it's straight in front of us. And then these two are kind of off to the side. I'm going to use my orange, or the color that I used for the foam, kind of add a shadow on each side. If the foam is sticking straight up, maybe you can see some of a lollipop shadow here. And then it goes off the table. But experiment with your shadows. It's all trial and error. If you want to color your foam piece, you are more than welcome. I'm going to use this really dark blue because blue and orange are complementary colors, so they're going to look good next to each other. And my table is kind of an orangey. It's all up to you. If you want your light to be hitting from a certain way, you can do that. And then have all the shadows go in the same direction. I am going to use this blue to just color that in a little bit more. Same with over here. And I'm going to show kind of where the lollipop's going into that foam, where the stick is. I can't wait to see your finished projects. This is the first project I've done of this. So I can't wait to see the designs you came up with and how you're making yours appear 3D. We'll talk to you soon.